Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Bozmos2, where we are playing Chaco. This is turn 65. Let's jump into things. Okay, so this is something I don't think I talked about last time, but I am starting up a couple of, ogre dances here or there. We'll review that after we go through all of the events, but I don't think it really matters. I've kind of cooled on the idea that ogre dance is really good. I think it can be really good depending on the bless that you take, but it, like so many other things with Chaco, my opinion is that it just isn't as good as it needs to be truly effective, right? So, but we're still making a couple anyways, just because we've done some dark knowledge, found nothing, Auspex found nothing, another dark knowledge found nothing. Did some casting of Naiad Warriors. More Auspex found nothing. More Auspex found nothing. So, unfortunate. We got a proclamation from Middle Tianchi, Pangu. Of course, Relay. And then actually from Dom Danielle. Oh, what? I have 4 candles left the mod use. Okay. Interesting. It's funny that Dom Danielle is... I think they have one province that they're just holding out on. So I guess that's what they mean by the 4 candles. Very, very cool. We have a battle in Blue Moss Forest. Let's go ahead and watch this. Also, I'm super sniffly tonight, so apologies. And he has attacked again with his progenitor. Oofa doofa. Let's see what he does. Gonna do some Strength of Gaia. We're routing, of course. Body Ethereal. Oh, we already got off the field? Oh, unfortunate. Okay. I wanted to see if he was gonna, fly or anything like that, so... Okay, well. Fingers crossed. We have taken control of On Remark. Just exchanged control between us and Satis. Oh, cool. And then we get to witness a couple of battles, and this was pretty confusing to me. But we'll talk about it here, and we'll see what happens. So first, Satis versus Ermor. Holy shit. This is so many freaking chariots. And I think he just spawns these. I don't think they cost anything necessarily. I think he has mages that spawn these chariots in. I think is how this works. I don't know. I really like it though. I think they're really cool. They kind of remind me of Tomb Kings from Warhammer. So this is a whole crap ton of chariots, but not really a lot else. And then this is a pretty large amount of undead. But again, so many chariots. Holy crapola. My goodness. Oof. Just getting swallowed. Although, actually, a couple of these guys got through on the side. Probably because, yeah, these guys are size 3, and I think the tramplers are size 4, right? So they trampled through, but then they just didn't follow them. Interesting. Man, that's a crushing defeat there. It's 181 units versus 359. And again, right, a fair amount of casualties actually on those Tomb Chariots, but they did so much damage. This is another example, though, of Ermor could have done a lot, could have shut this down with a couple of mages that could have accompanied this this group, but not really. The AI doesn't think like that, you know? Okay, and then we have a bunch of battles in Ashenton. Confusing. Okay, so we have a battle here in Ashenton as Middle Atlantis attacks a very large amount of undead with this is a hero, I believe. Yeah, the Ghost King is the soul of a basalt king killed during the fall of Atlantis. Yeah. So this is a Ruination of End. Nice. Oh, yeah, this guy's got Valor. Lightning Spear, Crown of Lead. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, cool. Emperor Flesh, Phoenix Pyre. Does immediately take a hit off the Lance Charge. Interesting. These guys have magic weapons. They do not. Okay, if they had magic weapons, then this might actually be a thing. These Knights of the Unholy Sepulchre might actually have been able to do something, but as it is, I think not a lot's gonna happen here. He's got too much regen. They're not gonna get enough consistent hits. Well, Quickens up. Summon Earth Powers up. Okay, that's important. Yeah. And now with Quicken and a Frostbrand and a Lightning Spear, this guy's got it. He's good. Very good. I actually need to make a bunch of Lightning Spears. It's on my docket, but we have not been able to do it this turn. This is gonna take forever. We're not gonna watch all of this. He wins. No, he's defeated. He is defeated. He's kicked off. He kills a whole crap ton of them, but he is kicked off. Okay. Then the next battle at Ashenton, which is here. Okay. A bunch of mage pilots and a bunch of Colossi Weavers. They're doing a communion. They do not have much to go up against now. Luck. Okay, we're gonna get some water elemental screens. We get a natural storm that goes up. We get a whole bunch more luck. Quickness. Quickness. Who got quickened? Wasn't them. Was it them? Did they quicken themselves? Really? Army of Lead. Interesting. Okay, so... Oof, almost kills this Weaver. Back here. Bunch of ice darts. Okay. Army of Lead's gonna be pretty good. Firestorm from a Colossi Weaver. Okay. Damn. Facia's got... We've already known this. Facia's had some pretty crazy research for the majority of the game. Not the best in the game, but pretty damn good. So, we know they've got a lot going for them right now. Oof. Oof. Well, this is a bit rough. If Atlantis had not come in here and killed all of those guys first, this would definitely not be a victory for Facia. Getting some enslaved minds though, that's really good. Really cool for them. Is that the win? Yeah, it looks like that's the win. Okay. What did they lose for this? They lost 1 Mage Pilot, 1 Colossi Weaver. They gained 3 Lictors and a Mound King. Not bad. Not bad. Alright, cool. Alright, and then there is another battle in Ashenton. What? What? It's a different Ashenton. Apparently, apparently we have two Ashentons not that far away from each other. Very, very interesting. So yeah, Atlantis is cracking a fort over here. This shouldn't be any big deal. They're gonna summon a whole crap ton of water elementals, and then they're gonna have backup lines of war shamblers. This is probably gonna be nothing. Ooh, Acid Storm coming off of a King of the Deep. Interesting. Acid Storm seems a little unnecessary to do. Like, you're probably hurting yourself more with that, aren't you? I mean, maybe not. Whatever. Not a big deal. Not enough to matter anyways. Well, I say not enough to matter. Lost two War Shamblers, lost a Mage of the Deep. Actually, really... I wonder if they popped a... They get hit by those. I wonder if this is off the Acid Storm or off of like random arrows. Don't see one popped there yet. Guy routes. Oh, there he goes. Right here. This took 30 damage from what? Damage roll. Yeah, it looks like this is just... Yeah. Just a damage... Straight damage roll against, 30, jeez. Shit. That kind of seems like an unnecessary risk. Casting something like, Acid Storm. Anyways, so that was the mix-up, right? There's multiple Ashentons, very cool. The Magic 3 continues, the horror marks continue. We lose another 3k population in Chaco, cause fuck me, right? We gain some gold in Toledo, and some Dominion, cool. We gain Unrest and lose population in Traban. We have a Star Priest wounded in Smacia. Luck and growth across the board, across the world, and units healed across the world. And we have a battle in Chaco. No big deal. Our Katsinas should be very, very easily able to destroy this many barbarians. Chase him down. Get him. You know what I think, and I guess it's just not a situation, right? Like, I don't think you should lose 3k population if you beat the army, right? Like this feels like it's an event where it's like, I beat the army, why did I get punished, right? You know, that type of thing. I see you getting punished if you don't beat the army, right? Because they like, you know, they're running rampant across your province, but I don't know, it just feels weird. But then again, I feel like most events in Dominions are really not super interactive. Like, they're either, ooh, I got a good thing, or ooh, I got a bad thing. You know, there's no... I say that. Some of the events, like DE events, are a bit more interactive because they want you to do a thing, and even some of the story events in vanilla are kind of like that. I wish more events were like that, more interactive, more responsive to what you do, you know, cause and effect type situations rather than just, oh, you took these scales, here's an event. You know? It's just a little bland. Fortification in Anremark is unharmed. Of course, Oldenburg, the same. Okay, what are we doing this turn? We got a lot of movement going on, but honestly, most of it's not really a big thing, truth be told. We are... Who is moving from here to here? Why... Fucking... The lag really makes dealing with this type of stuff a pain in the ass, because, like, I had this guy producing something, but I guarantee you when I was clicking off of him, I was dealing with lag. Anyways, so we are moving a sorceress over to Vongar, continuing to move crystal sorceresses around, continuing to move them up to Pastina. We are moving a number of Wuyas over to Old Man. We'll talk about why here in a second. We are moving Wuya 1 back up to Old Man, building a temple and continuing to build a fortified village here in Iron Caves. This is a bit risky, right? We don't have a whole lot of protection here. Jotunheim could just swing at us, which would be a pain in the ass. But also, like, this province has been a problem province for us, so it's possible that we just get hit from something here. We're kind of taking a risk, but, you know, it is what it is. We are moving Mong 6 back up to continue to raid. We are, and these are the big two things, right? We are attacking Blue Moss Forest with Wuya 2. This is intended to stall, right? If his progenitor is just sitting there patrolling, right? And he does the cast spells thing, then it's possible that we could send him retreating back into his castle. If we did that, right, that'd be another great turn for us because it would delay us having to deal with the progenitor for a while. If he has an army patrolling there, well, Wuya 2 is likely going to their death either way, but we'll see how it goes, right? There's a possibility that it goes just fine and everything's happy, yada yada. But I don't know that that's gonna be the situation. Yeah. And then we are actually, we're sending Wuya 17 down to Pantocrator's Bounty. We're gonna go raiding around in Angobia's Heartland, is the plan, basically. Okay, what are we doing? That's all the movements, that's all the battle plans, etc. Pretty simple turns, honestly. What are we doing recruitment-wise? Mostly the same stuff, continuing to recruit Wuyas, continuing to recruit Katsina warriors consistently. Put some more Katsinas up here. Why not? We are continuing to recruit all around our empire. Star Priests and Armored Warriors. We are starting to put together sizable armies in Vongar. Slowly putting together a more resistant force in Zaburia. Trying to get a force together in Pack Woods. Have a decently sized force in Bergamum. Trying to put, again, trying to just outfit these little groups to where our borders aren't so weak. We have pretty strong mage corps in a lot of these locations, right? But they do not have the troop lineup to defend them, basically. So we want to work on that. And then, we're continuing to get Adepts of the Silver Order. We're continuing to get sorceresses. We probably won't be getting that many more sorceresses, and we're probably going to start to slow our recruitment of Adepts of the Silver Order. Not immediately, but we got to keep an eye on our income and be careful about our overall upkeep. And we've kind of been pedal to the metal for a while now. We're gonna have to see how that goes. Last thing, no, second to last thing, we're going to talk about rituals and forging, and then we're going to talk about research and what our plans are there. So rituals and forging, again, we're continuing to do a couple Naiad warriors, not all of them. We're sending one of our Jade sorceresses over to Wuya or over to Old Man with some of our Wuyas. Continuing to do some ogre dances, continuing to do some site searches in places, although we're getting pretty close to being all but done everywhere. Not quite there, but we're pretty close. And we are doing a lot of gear forging. The majority of the gear is normal gear that we're aware of. Things like stone birds, copper plates, burning pearls, dragon helmets, Scutata Volturnuses, etc. The other stuff is stuff that we're becoming more aware of, and that is, I don't know if I talked about this last turn or not, but we're trying to make gear to potentially mess with the progenitor, right? I do not know of many ways that we could potentially do this. One of the ways that I have in mind is, you know, if we have to get into a really big really big fight with him, maybe we can get a really big communion and a bunch of penetration and try to soul slay him down. I mean, maybe, right? Alternatively, though, I don't think that is very likely to happen. Alternatively, I don't think this is very likely to happen, but this is another option. Things like Axes of Hate. If we can get enough people around the progenitor, hitting the progenitor, doing slight damage. So part of the issue is that this thing is killy as fuck, right? And then the other thing that is, it has a crap ton of health and regeneration. So, two problems to solve, right? It being killy as fuck, we solve by it not being able to swing, right? If it is fatigued out with things like Axes of Hate, then it can't swing at us. It makes the first couple turns against it super duper duper scary, right? But if we get, you know, a handful of successful hits, and we have pretty good attack value, right? It's just a matter of actually being able to damage the thing, and then get fatigue piled up on it. Get it fatigued out to where it can't swing back at us. It's still going to be thunder striking all around, right? And if it's put up something like Howl or whatever, we're still going to have to deal with that. But that's way more manageable than it swinging with all of its freaking attacks every turn. So Axes of Hate are going to be one of the prime things. We're probably going to want many of them. Another thing is things like Coral Blades, right? This is specifically there for the ability to draw blood. This is trying to counter that other problem, right? So Axes of Hates are trying to prevent it from attacking so that it can't just kill the shit out of us. Things like Coral Blades are there to try to proc bleeds to help counteract the regeneration. And then it's just going to be a matter of beating it as much as we can. So it doesn't have any weaknesses, is part of the problem, right? It's not a magic being, it's not undead, it's not a demon, right? And it's actually got really good strengths. So this is gonna be really, really, really difficult to accomplish. If we were a nation that had more and cheaper thugs that we were able to kind of like mass produce, again, another argument that I have for the fact that the Hmong Katsinas are slow to recruit, I think that's incredibly stupid, right? I do not think that a Hmong Katsina is that much inherently better than something like a Van Jarl, right? I think they have pros and cons versus them, but right, to make something like a Hmong Katsina freaking slow to recruit just means that you can't mass produce them for things like this, right? So we don't have a crazy amount of throwaway thugs to just put like, okay, We've got 20 Vanyarls. Just put great swords of sharpness on them and get as many of them as around him as you can and just start cutting. Right? You know, we don't have that option. We have to, the people that we send in need to be able to not die, right? Because we're only going to be able to send in so many. So that, in my mind, means Wuyas, right? So if we can send in maybe some Mongetsinas, but typically Wuyas. If we can send in, you know, 6 or 7 Wuyas, and they can go through buff cycles and get prepared, right? It's that scenario of, with the right gear, they can ignore the fire shield. With the right gear, right, they're less likely to have that damage reversal happen. They can defend against some of these super high damage attacks. They're still going to get swallowed. Just throwing that out, right? Like, this motherfucker will eat anything that isn't size 6, which is infuriating. Right, but I can try to... I think all my Wuyas are size 4. Aren't they? Or are they size 5? Yeah, they're size 4. So even if I enlarge them, which, don't get me wrong, I'll probably try to do something like Army of Giants on them. Right? I cluster them all together, and then I can do big AoE buffs, basically, to try to, like, get everyone souped up on things. But the idea would be to get things like what else am I working on? Get them with winged shoes, right? So they can jump to him, right? So they're not all just stuck out there fighting, you know, wolves, right? That's going to be important. Getting things like what other stuff was I building? Hey, more winged shoes. I really thought I was more axes of hate, etc. Oh yeah. I opted for just more axes of hate at the moment. We're gonna be looking into other items, like I was talking about earlier, putting in something like a lightning spear. So lightning spear, for example, is going to be better in, I say better, not necessarily better, it's potential for more damage than something like a Scutata Volturnus. Normally Scutata Volturnus is very good because it does a lightning strike. This guy has 37 shock resistance. There's no way that the lightning from Scutata Volturnus is going to do anything, but a physical hit from a lightning spear could do something. And, you know, again, we're probably gonna go in with a handful of different weapons, a bunch of axes of hate, and then a handful of different weapons. I don't know. I might still want to keep Scutata Volturnuses around in order to try to, you know, just block more damage, because 21 protection on top is really, really strong. Another issue that we're gonna have. I hate this. I hate this guy. It's bullshit. Like, this guy is too much packed into one thing. Another problem is going to be the stone bird, right? He's going to try to repel everything that we have, and he actually has pretty good attack value, unfortunately, right? And we don't have the greatest defense value. We're going to have okay morale, fortunately, because of things like, well, I mean, Wuyas just have good base morale, but also things like Dragon Helms. But damn, right? There's so much that we're having to fight through. This is so over the top. Yeah. I don't know, y'all. And awe, just throw it in awe. Again, though, I think morale, we're probably not going to have to worry about that too terribly much. And all of this, again, for the concept that this guy's immortal, so if we pop him once, he's just going to come back again. But the idea I'm hoping here is if we can manage to put together a scenario where we catch out his god, his progenitor, then maybe we can get lucky and either, you know, roll over what remains here up top, and then cap him at freaking Pistinia and Isepni. Or we can maybe, like, pressure him to sue for peace, like, get off the island, go back to your fucking planet, etc., whatever. Who knows? If not, though, it's probably going to be the slow decline. I say slow decline, but honestly, if this freaking thing catches out any of my armies right now, they're crap. I say that. Let's go to the other thing that we were going to talk about. We're going to talk about research real quick. So we are going to be finishing up Alteration 8 this turn. Alt 8 gets us Will of the Fates. It gets us Ground Army, which gives everyone shock resistance, which is going to be good. It gets Warriors of Niflheim, which gives everyone fire resistance, which is going to be good. And mostly that's it. We don't really have the death to take advantage of something like Disintegrate. We don't really have enough of the Liquefy to try to, you know, push through. But slow motion is also interesting. But again, magic resistance negates. That's not going to be a big deal for a lot of people. We are, however, that much closer to Army of Gold, Army of Lead. That is going to be a big deal for us. After that, I'm not sure what our plan is going to be. But that, in and of itself, is going to take a long time. That's going to take... Oh, that's going to take 3, 6, 9, 12, 15... Probably about 5 turns. As long as our stuff continues to grow in the meantime, right? As long as we continue to be able to produce lightless lanterns whenever we can. But it's gonna take a bit. It's gonna be early 70s before we are there. And I don't know that we have that long before this progenitor is down our throats. About the only thing that I can imagine is the saving grace here. Is I don't think he wants to use his god with one of his big armies. Oh, another thing. This is another thing that I want to do. To the point to where I think I might do it with 2 people. I'll start preaching here in Old Man. Because we need to have our dominion here. If he's going to be fighting us, if he's going to be coming at us with his god, which maybe he won't. Maybe he's just going to use his god in a defensive manner. And if that's the case, okay, cool. That's a very different scenario for us. But if he's going to use his god in an aggressive manner, if he's going to come into our dominion, or if he's going to come into our territory, by God, we want that to be our dominion, so that he's not getting his bless, right? What is his bless? We'll double check. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But it's enough to matter. Right? So, yeah. Magic weapons. Not having magic weapons would be a big deal, because we could fluff with something like Body Ethereal, and that makes him way less killy. Way less killy. Shock resistance, that's kind of irrelevant. He's got so much shock resistance that having 5 less is kind of whatever. Defense skill, sure, that's great. Reinvigoration, I don't think that honestly matters too terribly much. I guess it kind of does. He's still going to be reinvig neutral, I think. Or fatigue neutral, I believe. What else? Undying 3 is irrelevant. Regeneration matters. That, I think, matters, right? Losing 10% matters. I don't think it matters enough, but if we get into a scenario where we've got him fatigued out and we're having to try to, like, hack him down, right? Like, him having 10% less is gonna, you know, that could make or break the situation. Blood surge, combat speed, yeah, kind of whatever. So, yeah, anyways. Definitely gonna work on that. So research-wise, yeah, we're finishing up Alteration 8. We're gonna run up Alt 9 as quick as we can, and then with Alt 9, you know, that's kind of a... I say it's kind of a... It's not... I don't know. It's not really a different situation. Because here's part of the problem. We can't fight his god with Alt 9, necessarily, right? So, take a look. Wrathful Skies. Armor negating shock damage. Yeah, so the only way we're going to not take a shit ton of damage, or I say shit ton of damage, just get murdered by Wrathful Skies, actually, I don't think there is a way. We just get murdered by Wrathful Skies, no matter what. Even with something like Ground Army up. Ground Army is only 5 shock resistance. That's not going to be enough to make that big of a difference. It's just not. So I don't think we can fight him from an army standpoint. I think we just have to, like, try to thug him down, try to, you know, do something like that and see how it goes. So that's kind of the plan. Yeah, that's kind of the plan. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye, everybody. And hate the who got canceled now? For what reason? Did you lose a... Ugh. Flag, please. Flag, please. Okay, he didn't lose a thing. He didn't lose a hammer, which means he wasn't doing something, so let's research. Alright. Bye-bye, everybody.